Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into what might be the biggest celebrity scandal of the year, one that's sending shockwaves through Hollywood, the culinary world, and Montecito. Meghan Markle's Netflix debut, with Love Meghan, has gone from highly anticipated lifestyle series to full-blown plagiarism nightmare, with explosive allegations from guest stars and production staff that the Duchess of Sussex is nothing but a culinary fraud. Grab your popcorn, folks. This is about to get spicy. Now, I know you guys are excited for more, Ties. But before we delve into further discussion, if you haven't subscribed, come on guys, what are you waiting for? Hit like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell ASAP. So now, what began as Meghan's grand entrance into the lifestyle programming space has erupted into a scandal so severe it threatens to completely demolish her carefully constructed brand. According to multiple sources directly involved in the production, Meghan doesn't actually possess a single original recipe. Instead, she's allegedly built her entire cooking series on brazenly copied and appropriated culinary creations. Let that sink in for a minute. The woman who positioned herself as a passionate home cook and lifestyle guru apparently doesn't know how to create her own recipes. I've been covering celebrity culture for years, and I have to say, this is truly next-level deception. We're not talking about a little inspiration here and there. We're talking about systematic, deliberate plagiarism on a scale that's simply staggering. And the most shocking part, the people speaking out are risking their entire careers to expose the truth. Multiple insiders from the production, guest chefs, cookbook authors, culinary assistants, and crew members have come forward with eerily similar stories, despite being bound by ironclad NDAs. That alone should tell you something about how egregious the situation must be. These professionals felt so morally compromised by what they witnessed that they're willing to risk legal action to speak the truth. One globally recognized pastry chef recounted being invited to showcase a signature dessert, a complex creation they'd spent years perfecting. According to this chef, Meghan barely glanced at the recipe documentation, showing zero interest in the techniques or inspiration. Instead, she allegedly cut them off mid-explanation, saying it was too complicated for our audience and suggesting they simplify a similar cake she'd seen on a baking blog. The disrespect is breathtaking. Another guest, a celebrated cookbook author specializing in regional Italian cuisine, shared an equally heartbreaking experience. They brought authentic family recipes passed down through generations. Not just instructions, but family stories and cultural heritage. Meghan's response? Reportedly dismissive and condescending, telling them these recipes were too ethnic for our audience, and they needed something more relatable. Let that marinate for a second. The woman, who has built her entire post-royal identity around diversity, inclusion, and authenticity, allegedly rejected authentic cultural recipes for being too ethnic. The hypocrisy is almost too much to comprehend. But it gets worse. Production team members speaking anonymously have revealed what they describe as a systematic process designed to steal other people's work. According to one culinary assistant, staff would create spreadsheets of trending recipes from food blogs, cookbooks, social media, and even restaurant menus. They'd analyze these recipes, recreate them on set with minimal changes, and then Meghan would add a trivial, personal touch, maybe a different garnish or slightly altered spice blend, before claiming the recipe as her own. Another member of the culinary team described the constant ethical dilemma they faced. We were pressured to replicate existing recipes even when we knew they were copyrighted. When we raised concerns about plagiarism, we were told to just change it enough so it wouldn't be considered a direct copy. They were essentially forced to become complicit in intellectual property theft. The implications here are devastating, not just for Meghan's reputation, but potentially for her legal and financial future. We're not talking about a minor scandal that will blow over with a well-crafted apology. These allegations raise serious questions about copyright infringement, deceptive marketing, and potential civil and criminal liability. By presenting copied recipes as her own, Meghan is potentially infringing on intellectual property rights, misleading viewers, profiting from unauthorized use of copyrighted material, and engaging in unfair competition. And in a twist of irony that you just can't make up, Remember the controversy over the show's tagline, "Create wonder in every moment"? That already drew criticism for its similarity to Disney's marketing slogan. Now it seems the only wonder being created is how someone could build an entire Netflix series on allegedly stolen recipes with such audacity. The culinary world is absolutely erupting with outrage. Chefs, food bloggers, cookbook authors, and culinary professionals are taking to social media to express their fury and disappointment. One prominent food blogger, whose signature gluten-free chocolate chip cookie was allegedly copied on the show, didn't mince words. It's incredibly disheartening and infuriating to see someone with such a massive platform and so much privilege exploiting the work of independent creators without permission, attribution, or even a shred of originality. Netflix has maintained a stony silence so far, but sources inside the company suggest they're conducting an internal investigation to assess these claims. Legal experts are speculating that the streaming giant could face a barrage of lawsuits from creators whose recipes were allegedly stolen. The financial and reputational damage could be astronomical, potentially leading to the show's cancellation, termination of MEGHAN's contract, and a significant loss of subscriber trust. Just imagine the position Netflix executives are in right now. They paid millions for a series with a royal duchess, expecting a glossy, aspirational lifestyle show that would bring positive attention and subscribers. Instead, they might have bankrolled what amounts to a massive intellectual property theft operation. I guarantee there are emergency meetings happening at Netflix headquarters as we speak. This scandal reveals something much deeper about celebrity culture in the digital age. In an era where authenticity is supposedly valued above all else, we have a duchess who allegedly built an entire cooking show around pretending to be something she's not. It's the ultimate fake-it-till-you-make-it scheme, except in this case, making it involves stealing other people's work and passing it off as your own. And let's be honest, the pattern fits. This isn't the first time Meghan has been accused of borrowing a bit too heavily from others. Remember the plagiarism accusations surrounding her children's book? The claims that her wedding speech echoed passages from a self-help book? There seems to be a recurring theme of appropriation that can't be ignored. What makes this situation particularly offensive is the power imbalance. Meghan Markle has enormous privilege, wealth, and platform. She could have hired the best recipe developers in the world to create original content. She could have collaborated openly with chefs and food creators, giving them proper credit and compensation. Instead, according to these allegations, she chose to exploit and dismiss the very people whose creativity she was stealing. The irony of someone who has repeatedly spoken out against bullying and exploitation, allegedly engaging in intellectual property theft from smaller creators, isn't lost on anyone. If these allegations prove true, it reveals a stunning lack of self-awareness and a troubling disconnect between public persona and private actions. For Netflix, this is a potential disaster. The streaming giant is already facing intense competition and scrutiny over content quality. A high-profile plagiarism scandal involving one of their most expensive celebrity partnerships couldn't come at a worse time. They'll need to decide quickly whether to stand by Meghan, distance themselves, or cut ties completely. Industry insiders are already speculating about the future of the Sussex-Netflix partnership. The cooking show was supposed to be just the beginning of a multi-project slate. Now, those plans may be in serious jeopardy. After all, if Meghan was willing to allegedly copy recipes for a cooking show, what might that suggest about her approach to other content? Trust, once broken, is nearly impossible to rebuild in Hollywood. So what happens next? The most likely scenario is a behind-the-scenes scramble to contain the damage. Netflix will probably conduct an internal review while their legal team assesses potential liability. Meghan's PR machine will undoubtedly craft a careful response, perhaps framing the show as inspired by various sources rather than original content, or suggesting there was some misunderstanding about attribution. But here's the thing. No amount of PR spin can erase the testimony of multiple industry professionals alleging systematic plagiarism. You can't unring that bell. And in the culinary world, where recipe development is a serious craft that takes years to master, stealing someone else's work, is considered one of the most egregious ethical violations possible. For Meghan personally, this scandal strikes at the heart of her post-royal brand. She's positioned herself as authentic, creative, and ethically driven. If it's proven that she built an entire Netflix series on copied recipes without attribution, that carefully constructed image crumbles. It becomes increasingly difficult for audiences to believe anything she presents as genuine. The larger question this raises is about celebrity culture itself. Why do we continue to elevate and celebrate people who contribute little original value while ignoring the actual creators and innovators? The food bloggers, recipe developers, and cookbook authors whose work was allegedly stolen have spent years honing their craft, testing recipes, and building audiences organically. Yet they receive a fraction of the attention, compensation, and opportunities afforded to someone like Meghan Markle. This scandal could potentially become a turning point, a moment when both the public and the industry say enough to this kind of exploitation. It could lead to stronger protections for creators, more transparent attribution practices, and a cultural shift toward valuing original work over celebrity endorsement. For the culinary community, this is about more than just one Netflix show. It's about respect for their profession, recognition of their creativity, and protection of their intellectual property. The outrage we're seeing isn't just about Meghan. It's about standing up for an entire industry that often sees its work appropriated without proper credit or compensation. As this story continues to unfold, I'll be keeping a close eye on Netflix's response, potential legal actions from affected creators, and how this impacts Meghan's broader media ambitions. One thing is certain, with Love Meghan will never be viewed the same way again. What was meant to be a triumphant debut has instead become a case study in how quickly a carefully constructed celebrity image can unravel when the foundation is built on deception. What do you think about these allegations? Should Netflix cancel the show immediately, or give Meghan a chance to address the claims? Should the original recipe creators pursue legal action? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated as this shocking scandal continues to develop. Until next time, this is your friendly neighborhood critic signing off. Tada and bye for now. This is your friendly neighborhood critic signing off. Until next time, ta-ta and bye for now.